here I am. I think I'm going to call this car talk. Now that the weather's cold. It's going to warm up a little bit, but I think tomorrow. But, you know, it's November. It's cold in November. So here we are. A couple people are here. Hopefully people have their notification bells on. I'll have a few more. I was just listening a little bit to Ben Meiselas, and he was talking about the CEO of CNN. It used to be Chris Licht, but it seems like they let one CEO go, right? And then it's funny because, you know, we've gone through this thing where it's like, well, there's one horrible person, let's get rid of that horrible person. And then you think, well, hopefully they'll replace the horrible person with a better person. And it's always even more horrible. So I didn't write down his name, but the new CEO, I don't know how new, but at CNN, I just put a comment in the chat for Midas Touch. Like, my God, we're so grateful that Midas Touch is there because they've really filled the gap, the news gap. And if you want to go, if you want to know what I'm referencing, I don't know what the title of the video was, but I think it just posted on Midas Touch. And just look for the one that's about the CEO of CNN and how all of the media outlets, every single one, it brought to mind, you know, Comcast, I guess, owns NBC, maybe? I don't know if I have that right, but Comcast owns one of the big networks, which I didn't know. And just a little, yeah, there's stuff coming out. Marge is mentioning it. Just a little while ago, I was complaining about my Comcast, that my Wi-Fi kind of broke down. It's not working anymore. And since that time, I don't even use the Wi-Fi that I'm paying for anymore because Comcast, they were going to send someone out, and I'm like, I don't really need I don't want you to send somebody out here. It's such a pain when they send somebody to your house, and it's like, can't you just make it work? So I said to Comcast, you guys probably remember this if you were here a couple weeks ago. I said to Comcast, I don't really need it. You know, I can get Wi-Fi from other places. I don't really need it. Right next door to me is a library, you know. And I said, let's just disconnect it to Comcast. And the guy on the other end, the poor guy, he said, well, there'll be a fee to disconnect from Comcast. Just a Wi-Fi, right? Just cable. I said, okay, well, how much is the fee to disconnect? And he said, $500. Comcast, $500 to disconnect your service earlier than the contract runs out, like leaving a lease early. To which I responded, are you effing kidding me? But I used the real word. And the guy said, ma'am, I'd appreciate it if you didn't use that kind of language with me. He was from the Boston area, I could tell. You know, it was like, not like I offended his virgin ears or anything. But that's how mad I got. And I'm sure he expected that working for Comcast. I'm sure he expected that when he disclosed to me how much it would cost for me to just simply not have the service anymore, that in order to get out of my contract, and he said, oh, you signed a contract, and then in that contract it said the early disconnect fee is $500. So Comcast owns one of the major networks, and the CEO of CNN, Ben Meiselas, had on. Definitely check that out. It's really insightful. And we're getting this deluge of information about how the entire... I'm not saying that Kamala didn't win. I just want to make that clear right now. Because she did win. Because I'm a psychic, and I know what I feel. I feel the energy that she won. She won the most votes. So I'm just saying that, like, if everybody was really getting all the real news, everyone across the board, just like in the old days, I guess the 1960s and 70s, when news was just news and we didn't have the internet and all that, then America wouldn't be divided. There's no way. America would not be divided the way that it is if truth-telling was the case. So what it's coming down to, well, besides Elon Musk, it's like Elon Musk is like Dr. Evil from the old Austin Powers movies, but not the comedic Dr. Evil. Elon Musk is the real Dr. Evil incarnate. Like, it's amazing how evil he is. I know Dr. Evil is nice though, and really good. That's what, I love Mike Myers, and that was Austin Powers was just genius. Maybe go watch it if you need to laugh, because we all need to laugh. Hey Marby. But Elon Musk is he's like an android to me, Elon, because he has no emotions. He has no perceivable emotions that are like human emotions, that are normal, that are, he's just, yeah, Elon Musk is a weird, dangerous person that's running the world. That's not hyperbole. He's controlling the world because he has billions of dollars. It's like he's like got hundreds of billions of dollars. And I was laughing about Dr. Evil in the Austin Powers movies when he was asking for a ransom to not blow up the world or whatever it was, and, and then Austin Powers said, "Okay, well, how much will it be?" And he said, $1 million. Do you remember that? And we all cracked up. Oh dear. Here, please hit the thumbs up while you're here. It would be helpful. Thanks. And yeah, we gotta laugh. So I'm looking at this guy, the CEO of CNN, and I didn't write down his name, but you can definitely go find it out. It's easy enough to find. And he's talking about all the, like, he lives for how much of the media he can buy up, and and it's just like his passion, and his whole life is how much he can gouge people, and how much they actually didn't like the Biden administration. They didn't like Joe Biden because of this. Tell you what, because of this. And they would tell their listeners it was for some nefarious other reason, like the Biden administration hates us and they're trying to regulate us. No, the number one reason that CNN, straight from the CEO's mouth, didn't really want to have the Biden administration around anymore is because Trump is so, these are my words, is so just outrageous that he attracts more viewers. And I'm thinking, how sad is this for that guy, that your whole life, your whole earthly existence, you loser of losers, your whole earthly existence is all how many billions you can call yours. To me, that's a tragic life. And I know, we're not going to feel sorry for them. What's happened, what we're going through in our country, and we do have to stop it from happening. I want you to know that you can come here to this channel. This is the Resistance channel. I'm going to get t-shirts made. We are the Resistance. When you come to this channel, now that we're in this next phase of our lives in America, you will never hear me acquiescing or having a conversation that sounds anything like, oh, well, how are we going to cope the next 4 years with Trump? Just don't even come here for that. Because I am never going to come here and talk to you about how to cope. I am only coming here to talk to you about how to fight. Okay? Sorry, I'm missing a lot of what you're saying in the chat because I'm blabbering. Do not expect any conversation from me, any Substack articles, which I'm going to go back, when I go back, I'm going to go write another Substack article. Don't expect my conversation to ever, ever sound even remotely anything like, oh, well, you know, I guess we have to put up with it. I guess we just have to see if we can, I guess we just have to make it through. And I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, I changed the channel too, if anybody's talking that way. Yeah, Maryland, that's exactly where I'm coming from. There aren't going to be, the next 4 years are not going to be Trump. Oh my God, how much we just, it's abuse. It's an assault that we've had to look at him. You are not going to hear the kind of conversation like that as if that's my reality, ever. Because I'm a medium and a channel, I just want to tell you that I have not had to get Alexa Navalny off of my brain. Most psychics said surrender. That makes my skin crawl. That makes my skin crawl. Wait, hang on. I need my glasses. I need to be able to read that. Am I reading that correctly? My car is so clean. Oh, it's an illusion. Wow. Wow. Really? Okay. Sissy saying most psychics had surrender. I don't know what you mean by that. You'll never hear that from me. You will never hear from me. You won't hear that he's the president from me, because he's not. Let me tell you in a nutshell. I'm working on the nutshell version. What happened? My in a nutshell version is that Putin considers the United States of America the jewel in his crown. So what he did, and this is just a small piece of what Putin did, was he saw the opportunity to talk to Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, with Starlink, and to get him to figure out how to technologically manipulate the brains of the American populace. And he did, because he's got hundreds of billions. So Elon did that. And for Elon, his whole life is about how much money he can amass and how much power, the illusion of power, will say, that he can accrue. And so Elon enrolled Musk. Elon had been talking to Donald Trump. Donald Trump had been talking to Putin, up to the tune of more than 7 times since he even left office. And prior to that, Donald Trump was always talking to Putin, and he was always talking about Putin. So here's the thing. Here's why you're never going to hear from me that I'm accepting anything to do with the idea that, oh, we're just going to have to live in hell for the next 4 years, because we are not. We are not going to have to live in hell for the next 4 years. We're not. And it saddens me to the core that there are psychic. It saddens me to the core, and it shocks me too, that after they called that Trump won, which is not true, Trump got the election rigged, so it appeared that he won. It appeared as if he won. That's what's accurate. But when I ever heard that there were psychics on YouTube that were coming to YouTube and they were apologizing, I'm like, where are you, a jellyfish? I'm not speaking about anyone in particular. I'm just saying, in general, that's like, it almost makes me ask the question: are they just saying it because they're afraid, or are they really not that good? You know. But the truth of the matter is, and once again, I just want to reiterate, I'm not talking about any psychic in particular, because I really am not. I haven't really been checking. This is what I've heard. If they had said something like, Well, what I said? Well, yeah, I feel that she did win. Something happened, but I feel that she did win. And I heard that across the board, a lot of psychics were saying that, almost all of them, as far as I know, were saying that Kamala would win. I'm standing by that. I mean, there's no reason for me to retract that because that's exactly what I felt. Told you many times I read energy. I didn't even see Trump on the ballot because he wasn't a legit candidate. Besides the fact, we'll get to our little more of a conversation in a second, but I guess I'm just venting. Um, yeah, so besides the fact that they called the election that night, when does that ever happen? Trump is acting completely like, oh, I don't really, he didn't work for the votes at all. And we're hearing all these reports about, what Elon did with the media. Elon, and go to Adam Mockler because he had a great video last night that blew me away about the Elon connection. So Kamala did win. It will come out. It does sadden me to the core that people are caving in because the number one rule to prevent tyranny, and that's what we're in right now. The number one rule, I mean, we have the threat of tyranny, right? We have to stop it. The number one rule is do not submit. So on this eve of before Veterans Day, and I hope that I want you to all promise me that you're going to go to a Veterans Memorial service tomorrow to thank a veteran, to go and to acknowledge a veteran. I dissent too. And you know what? Yeah, Amanda's saying she's becoming a big fan of Adam Mockler. I'll tell you God's honest truth. I've just passed 9,000 subscribers. You know what a struggle that I've had with my channel. On Wednesday, I know it sounds like a little bit, but I've really been struggling on YouTube, and I really think that's because of the content. I had like 5,000 views, something like that. So now I have over 9,000 subscribers. So the universe is showing me the best policy is to tell the truth, right? We're going to be okay. We're not, it's not going to, yeah, Newsom and Pritzker are showing us how to resist. I'm jumping on their bandwagon, and this starts this week. I am going to start up Grassroots of Democracy again, so stay tuned for that. So anyway, back to Putin. So Putin, like, America is the jewel in the crown for Putin and for our enemies. We are in danger because they have our secrets, but our intelligence is going to have to, they're working on it. I heard that the Taliban congratulated Trump, and I heard that the Taliban said, yeah, good for you. You put the women in their place. We're not going to stand for that. We're not going to stand for that. We're not going back. We're not going back. Yeah, humanity is thirsty for the truth. So I'm a truth teller. I'm telling you the truth. As I know it, as I feel it, as I see it, as I've practiced for over 31 years now. I'll just tell you a few snippets of what I'm picking up, and one is that there are people who aren't going to stand for this, and I'll tell you more as more comes out. But there are people that are very dug in on they're not going to stand for throwing our country away, because that's really what it is. Yes, yeah, thank you, Amanda. Yeah, I am. I'm a bad liar anyway. I cannot lie. You would just be able to tell. Mitch McConnell put guardrails around the Constitution. Rick Scott is now wanting his job. Rick Scott is a demon. I haven't been able to watch any let me tell you how I'm kind of dealing with the energy. If I see a Midas touch, like a headline on Midas touch on YouTube that I think sounds like, yeah, I do want to know about that because there's some positivity there, I will read it or I will watch it. But anything else, anything else, I won't. So let me tell you what I've been doing, and I mentioned this before, but I really do think that it would be helpful to you. I mentioned that I was listening to Abraham Hicks talking to Wayne Dyer about, years ago when Wayne was still here, obviously, or maybe not so obviously. And Abraham Hicks I've been listening to a lot. Did Kamala say she wants a recount? I hadn't heard that yet. Is that something that you heard in the news? Legal AF is good too. Michael Popak is keeping anybody that I see that's in this mode. We're fighting back. I'm all in. I even want to get T-shirts made saying I am the resistance. So I'm looking into that. I do have a merch person. The person that revamped, kind of updated my website. That I'm working with now. She's helping me. We might get some merch. Okay. So that was my long diatribe. There's so much to say, but we have PNN tomorrow night too, and I'll check in with you at 11 a.m. tomorrow. So, last night I mentioned at Church of Spirituality just a couple hours ago that my folks are elderly, and I make an effort to go visit every night, just make sure they're okay. I always watch TV with them, and I want you all to look this up. Oh, okay. Hang on. Saw something yesterday about the Harris campaign continuing to fundraise to cover cost of recount. Can you let us know where we can donate? Good. And Texas Paul is fighting back too. Count me in. Also, I want you all to share my song. We won't be backing down. Yeah, there's a lot of planetary energy out there to be resolved. That's true. Go to grassrootsofdemocracy.com. Hello, Odelia. Go to grassrootsofdemocracy.com and share my song. We won't be backing down. It's actually more appropriate for now, for nowadays. Anyway, on PBS, there's a program. Tennessee Brando's in too. Good. I wonder if Boston Brian, I don't see much of him anymore. That much. I don't think he puts out too many videos, but we'll take a look at that. I don't know what the event was, but I'm pretty sure it was the Boston Pops at Symphony Hall here in Boston. I didn't even know about it. I just happened to, be watching TV with my folks. I walked in and I went, "What is that you're watching?" Because I could see they had like a slideshow of World War II, and they were telling stories of soldiers in World War II, and they had the orchestra playing, and it was really moving. And at the end, Katie Couric came on at the end, as the credits came on, and Katie Couric said something about, I think it's called America Unbound. If you want to look that up on PBS, I want you all to watch that because it's going to give you such a sense of inner resolve. We cannot let fascism take over. Putin has invaded America. We've been invaded by a foreign enemy. We've been invaded by the worst kind of foreign enemy because it's kind of silent. You know what I mean? Boston Brian was on fire today. Is he still on Midas Touch? I never see him. Tennessee Brando was preaching today. All right, so all the people with strong, steely spines are staying in. Because why would we leave? This is why we were here in the first place. I put Grassroots of Democracy on hold, and then because I felt I got the message that my assignment was done, but what I realized was that part of the assignment was done. This is phase 2. Okay. Anyway, I told you I wouldn't make these videos too long, but I mean these check-ins. So let me know how you are. Yeah, yes. Okay. So somebody's saying I had to turn Sterling off today because he was saying that there won't be until 2032. Nothing, I'm not going to say anything about him. What I'm going to say is I will not listen to that kind of a conversation. Oh, you'll be watching me tomorrow at 11:11 at 11:11. The only way that wouldn't happen is if that's at the same time as a veteran's service, but in that matter, I would just kind of turn my camera on for that. So you can look for me at 11 tomorrow. But let me know how you are. This is kind of a mental health check-in. Okay, so I want to know. And yeah, so turn off the people that are talking as if we have to accept this. And I don't know how people are getting off on saying, "Oh, well, in 2 years we have midterms," because this is fascism. Did they miss the memo? Fascism doesn't have legit elections. I mean, I try not to think about how disturbing it is to me. The people that I considered intelligent, not mentioning any names, just in general, that I considered, like, well, you heard Trump say there won't be any more elections, right? Not just that, he didn't even have to say it. He's a fascist, and fascists don't have legitimate elections. So what those people are saying okay to, the people that are saying okay to, in my opinion, and I want to emphasize this is my opinion, what they're saying if they're saying, oh well, there'll be an election, Trump will get in this time and there'll be an election and they probably don't talk like that, but and then maybe a woman will get in then. No, 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 no. Did they not get the memo? Fascism means democracy is gone. I don't understand why they are not thinking about, maybe they don't know what's in Project 2025. Project 2025, and I am not exaggerating, takes away everything. I'm trying to think of something that Project 2025 doesn't take away from us. It takes away every aspect of our existence. I am about to write a letter to the paper, too. So can you pass the word about that? Can you pass a word about that? It takes away guns too? I haven't heard that. Are you sure? Yeah, so I'm going to read what Barbara Bias is saying. I knew a vintage shop owner who was a World War II veteran, and when I asked how bad it was, his pleasant demeanor changed into a look of horror. He refused to discuss it. I I do think that we'll come to a little place and not too long of a time where people understand. I think that it takes a while for some people's brains to process things. It takes longer for some people than for others. And anybody that's saying, oh, in 4 years we can elect a new president has maybe they're in trauma brain. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't understand how they're saying that when we're talking, we're talking the potential for fascism to completely take over America. And this fascist wants us out of NATO. So that would be the equivalent of being in North Korea. Can you say no way? The most powerful country in the world. We're just going to hand it over? Oh, yeah, well, we'll be okay. You get my point, I think. So before we sign off today, I want to tell you that I'm really reliant on donations to pay my bills. So if you can donate a little bit, $20 or whatever, I need to keep this machine going. I need to keep the resistance machine going. We will have a lot more to talk about in the very near future. I told you I'll be with you every single day. What's the significance of November 18th? Astrologically, November 19th, Pluto goes into Aquarius, which shifts the whole ball game completely. Electra Storm says, I think we'll have an inauguration, but it will be delayed and it will be Kamal. That kind of checks out with the astrology. It kind of does. You can see it's getting dark. Okay, Linda Taylor is saying, I unsubscribed a couple of readers that are accepting the results as if nothing can be done. Yeah. It's disturbing. Thank you, Violet Flame. Appreciate it. I have to remember to bring my bell to my car. So I'm calling these segments Car Talk Mental Health Check-ins. I think I need to put my light on, if I can. Well, I don't know if I can while my car's not running. There it is. There's people not in the chat tonight that I would think would be here. I'll have to check in with them. A couple of other things. But one is that it kind of scares me. Thank you, Sissy. Thank you. That they would be the people that are saying, well, it's too bad that we lost. I mean, it scares me that they're not fighting. We need a fighting spirit. Read my Substack. Definitely read my Substack about, what was it called? Are we really going to let evil win or something like that? Go to my Substack and check that out. Couple of things before I sign off today. One is that I was talking to Michael Garrity yesterday, and hello, if you're new, please subscribe. And suddenly this idea popped into my head that we could have like a phone tree kind of a thing in this sense. That light just is a weird color. Hang on. In this sense. See if we can do this. I won't be much longer. It's getting dark. If anybody needs a phone call because they're traumatized and need to be talked off the ledge, so to speak. If anybody needs that, I've offered to write me at AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. Send me an email. But to just kind of divvy up the work, I'll give you a 10-minute phone call if you're really struggling with suicidal ideation. AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. And you can pass that on. But in order to divvy up that kind of support work, I'm looking for volunteers, and you can email me AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. Volunteers that I can send people that are struggling to you to just have like a 12-minute phone call, not more than that. Just limit it to that. But just to say, hey, I'm here with you, just to be a support. It's not a therapy session. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to start doing that. Grassroots of Democracy will resume this week. I'm going to figure out a schedule, the details, and the practicality of how we can get that geared up again. And what was the other thing? I'll be back for PNN tomorrow night. Make sure you watch Church of Spirituality from today. This is it's a tragedy. We are in one of the greatest tragedies in American history right now. We're in that. We're in the middle of it. So it's essential that we stay. I mean, not being in the fight is not an option. Everything that holds our lives together, nobody gets out of this unless they're part of the oligarchy that's presently in place in America. Every single aspect of everybody's life would be ruined. That's why it's not negotiable. Failure is not an option. Only winning is an option. Okay? So if anybody has anything they need to say before I go, let's wrap it. My PayPal didn't work? Whoa. Okay. Also, you can Venmo me or you can mail a check. But thank you. Thank you for telling me. That's really important. I think PayPal'd me this afternoon. So it was working then. Maybe try again too. And there's my PO box. Thank you, Rose. Does anybody need any help before I sign off? We need to look at 2026 and just concentrate on that. Are you kidding, Cheryl? What do you mean? Cheryl, I think you missed my whole point. I don't understand why you're saying that. No, you don't understand. No, you don't. See, now I can't leave yet. If the fascist that takes his marching orders from Vladimir Putin, if the fascist ever theoretically got into the White House, there are no midterms. There are no midterms. Then it's over, right? So just reality check. I'm not picking on you. I'm just, I'm glad you said it, because nobody, as far as I'm concerned, nobody should be having the conversation about, well, when the midterms come. No, that's not even part of the equation. People that are looking at it that way are assuming that we'd still be a democracy. No, that's not the case. That's why people are awake at night, right? Do you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? We love you lots. This could be the last vote. Not only that, Trump said it would be. He said to his brainwashed people, you'll never have to vote again. And then they had the signs behind him at his rallies that said, Trump will fix it. There's double meaning there. Tomorrow morning at 11, I'll be back. I always talk in Eastern time, just so you know. It's easier if I just keep it consistent. Sissy has a question. Yes, he will stay for good. We don't want that. And it's not just that. He told us. What's the question before we go, Sissy? Did I miss it? Ask away. It's getting dark. I gotta go. You want to wait before you ask it? There are people that are going after this whole thing. Don't you be fooled. Is Biden going to fight for us? Yes. That was your question. Abso-freaking-lutely. Joe Biden is not going to hand over the United States of America to a fascist. You know what I mean? Okay, I'll see you in the morning. Please promise me you'll attend a veteran service tomorrow for Veterans Day. Nothing could be more important right now. All right, we care about you all. Email me at AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. If you're struggling with suicidal ideation, then reach out to me. But what I'm going to start to do is I'm going to start to ask people. So email me if you're a person who's available to have a 10-minute phone call with somebody who's struggling, just to let them know that they have support. Okay? And we'll see you later. Namaste. I stayed too long, but that's okay. Love you. Bye.